Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. As the topic suggests, and you can see the list of languages there in the list above. There are so many, right? Perl, Script, PHP, C, C++, Java, Lisp, VB, Python, and so many. It is believed, and we say that almost 250 to 2,500 languages available right now on the planet, computer languages in which programs can be written. So I have just spoken lots of, technical stuffs, program languages, stuff like those, right? So we are going to clarify or clear and then understand those stuffs today. At the end of the sessions, we would be able to understand what computer language is, what all possible, what are different and major, popular languages available, and why actually we need languages, computer languages. This is the foundation video for the coming videos, which will be specific to languages, maybe C, C++, C Sharp, Python, Java, or whatever. So here, the way you actually communicate is to computer is through a language. So right now we are talking like I am trying to communicate something to you, and then what I'm doing is I'm trying to speak out some words, and the medium between you and me right now is English. Since you understand English and I can speak English, I can communicate something to you which reaches you, and this is a medium actually through which we can actually communicate to each other. So even in human being or to communicate to somebody, we need something, a medium, and that is a language. Likewise, computer is a machine, and we say it is an electronic device, and we say it is an electronic device because it is not mechanical, it is electronic, and it is basically functionally based on zeros and ones. It understands 1 and 0. 1 stands for on and 0 is off. So everything that is inside the computer is basically translated eventually into zeros and ones. So this basically accepts data, and and the data is basically processed, and after processing, this produces something called meaningful information. So we can give something to computer to process. So if we say process means I have given you something to some raw material, and then you do some activities on that raw material, and finally you have a finished good material. You have produced something very meaningful. That is called information. Likewise, we give this machine, this computer to something, and then we say that, hey, do this thing, right? And then it starts doing this, and finally we give meaningful information. So in this picture that we see that there is in the left, we have all, you know, data, some alphabet, some numbers, some special characters, and we are saying this to process it, and after processing, we are getting a meaningful information, that is CodeWithAbby, which is a meaningful information for you. So this is how it processes. Uh, so coming to the first slide that we talked about, that to communicate to each other, we need something, right? So just imagine that you have a maid at your home. She actually takes care of her household activities, housework, like, she cooks for you. She doesn't know how to prepare tea, but you need a cup of tea, and then what you do, you take a piece of paper and you start writing stuff like you are saying that put the kettle on the gas stove, switch on the gas stove, mix sugar and tea leaves into this, wait for the tea to boil, and once this gets boiled, then strain it and serve it. Since she understands, you know, English, she will read all the instructions one by one, and she will start performing the activities. And after that, you will get something called meaningful information. I mean, outcome is that cup of tea. Likewise, we have to communicate to computers. And to communicate to computers, we need to write some instructions. So once we write the instructions and we give in a package in a file, we call it as a program. So a program basically is nothing but a set of instructions given to computer to do some activities. So you can see here I am giving two numbers and then I'm telling that process it. So this is a code written in C language. Likewise, you see that these are all English-like statements, and the same thing that I'm doing in C++, and again the same thing I'm doing in Python. These are quite buzzwords for you if you are new. So I talked about C, then I talked about C++, then I talked about Python. You can see that I am performing the same task. I'm trying to get computer work on the same task, but in three different ways in three different languages. The question comes in your mind, hey, is it important for us to learn all those languages available? As you spoke in that there are many, there are thousands of languages. So is somebody is required to learn all those languages? Definitely not. Each language has got its own feature, its own what you call specialty. So depending upon the requirement, you need to learn the languages. For example, the C is considered to be a middle level language which can help us writing programs very machine level and high level as well. Likewise, we have C++ coming with the some other features. I mean, going forward, you will learn that is something called object-oriented programming, and then Python that is rich in some other activities like we are nowadays doing some machine learning. So each language has got its own features. So what we do is we write instructions mostly to English like statement and then give it to computer to process it and gives the output. So how do we do basically? Does computer understand? You say that Abhay, just sometimes back you told that it understands only zeros and ones. Then how does it understand this? Then yes, just imagine that you are giving the sleep to your mate for preparing a cup of tea. Unfortunately, your mate was not aware of a language called English. Then what was the solution? You could have told somebody like, hey, please tell her how to do, just read my instructions. And then the translator, the person is translator who will read your instruction in English and then he will explain to her that, hey, do these activities. Likewise, we have something called compiler. And what does it do? Basically, it takes our instructions, our programs, and then it converts into machine level and target code. So you can see this is English like statements and given to compute compiler. Compiler compiles it, and after compiling, this gets converted into zeros and ones in the form of machine code. And this is how programs are written mostly into English like statements, and they're compiled back to machine level language and machine in a target code, and then machine performs, the computer, saying machine here is computer, which performs the activities and provides the output. Got it, right? I think this is clear. Moving ahead, so we have many languages going forward. Some of the renowned one, the talking about the COBOL, Pascal, Fortran, C, C++, Java, C Sharp, VB, Python, F Sharp, R, Ruby, Dart, Scala, and so many. So these were the years where the languages evolved, right from 1843 to 2003. Many have gone through their version changes. Let's say, for example, C Sharp first came in year 2000, and this is with the version 1.0, and now it has gone to C Sharp 12. So it's keep on upgrading. They keep on adding up new features and then coming. So many of them which you are seeing right now on the screen have gone through their version changes, and there are new versions coming on them. So this way, one has to select the language, computer language, as we are now knowing that why computer languages are required. Why do we need computer language? So somebody has to choose it. Many college going students who are new to the industry, they will pick one of them depending upon the market trends. and then they will upgrade themselves in that language, and then they eventually go to the software industry to work on. So every language that you are going to choose has to have some, I mean, it has got its own capability, can specialty features. So every language that you are going to work on, you need three things to write programs, to write instructions. You need a computer, obviously, wherein you will give instruction. You need an IDE, which is called as Integrated Development Environment. It is basically an environment where you can write your program. Okay, like say for example, you see here, this is an environment wherein I mean, we will see that there are many, like for example, Visual Basic is an IDE. Okay, there are many IDEs these days available online as well, which you can use to write your programs. And then there is something called compiler, which is very important, which we talked about. This is something which is required to translate your program, your English-like statement into machine code. So hope this is now clear to you. Right from the beginning, once we were talking about, I think before the starting of this language, this session, if you are not aware of computer languages, now you are at least aware that what computer languages are, what most possible languages are available in the market. Every language has got its own capability, own specialty. Compiler is something which is very much important. We can write our programs into IDE, compile it, and finally convert into machine code. We can get output out there. So we have seen list of languages today. The lists were many, so they can play miracle. You can write magical programs to do lot many things. So whatever you see, right from writing a small program to the Chandrayaan launch or whatever. I mean, all programs can be written and they can be completely coded, and then you can see the outcome there. So just to give you the glimpse of the small program, so I have a sample example which I have written. So this is a BMI calculator. You can see Abby's BMI calculator. We can enter the values of the weight in kilogram, and it calculates the value. This is what I wrote in a simple program, and the same thing is available over the net as well. So there is a web-based version of this calculator, so we can enter the values and you can calculate the values and you can see the values getting calculated. Likewise, we can have mobile application also. The same application can be created in mobile. So you can think of a problem and the solution that you can uh, find using the programs, and you can write the programs in the languages. Hope this increases interest of yours in programming languages, and then I think you are good enough to go ahead with learning new languages. Okay, yeah.